Hey wrestling fans, this is Rick from rickswrestlingblog.com. Hey, I want to talk about Monday Night Raw. The first Raw following the pay-per-view Survivor Series just happened this past Sunday. And I'll tell you what, the way Survivor Series ended is really the way Monday Night Raw started. So let's talk about that a little bit. Randy Orton comes out to the ring. He calls out the Authority. He's giving a spiel about, his how he won and he didn't need them there. But then here comes John Cena. And here's the nice thing is WWE really needed to do something about the next pay-per-view because honestly, you had the Big Show in the pay-per-view main event against Randy Orton. I never expected Big Show to win away from that title. And in no way was I ever really interested in that whole match. So I was kind of curious as to why would they think that the Big Show would be a bigger draw than Daniel Bryan. So hey, that match happened and Randy Orton won. And great because it really could not be any other way. But here comes John Cena. At the end of that pay-per-view, John Cena comes and stands toe-to-toe with Randy Orton, and they're both holding up their titles. So Monday Night Raw, same thing. Here comes John Cena. They're both holding up their titles. And guess what? Then they announce, hey, I tell you what, we've been talking about this. Let's go ahead and take these belts. We're going to combine them into one at the TLC pay-per-view coming up in about 3 weeks. So that is actually a much better main event than Big Show and Randy Orton. So I'm looking forward to TLC already just for that main event and the unification of these titles. Now, keep in mind, they've united these titles before. There was a time that Chris Jericho became the very first undisputed champion. But after a certain amount of time passed on, they changed it to the WWE title and they brought back the world title for SmackDown. So, I kind of like having both titles, but, maybe it is time for a little bit of a change. But hey, I wouldn't be surprised that if in a year from now they bring back that other title again. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Anyway, so that was a pretty good segment to start off Monday Night Raw. And it's exciting because of the TLC main event. To me, is one of the better main events that we're going to be seeing now coming up here. So we'll have to see how they build up that pay-per-view. The next one that I'm not going to talk about every match on Monday Night Raw, but the one thing's just certain points on certain matches. So for example, the Shield came back out and they wrestled against Cody Rhodes, Goldust, and Rey Mysterio. Now here, we know that the Shield won, which is really just Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns put on a show at Survivor Series, and he was the sole victor. Here, he kind of put on the show again. But this was another good match. And I like the fact that they're not... they are making a push for Roman Reigns. Okay? But I like the fact that this didn't make it look as if they're splitting up the Shield just yet. I would like to see the Shield stay together at least for a while longer. And I eventually want to see that match, the Shield and the Wyatt family. But I'm thinking that if the WWE issues that match, they may be saving that for WrestleMania. A couple weeks ago or a week ago when they gave that, where they kind of bumped heads, the Wyatt family and the Shield, I mean, the fans went crazy and it got my attention quick. But I'll tell you what, I wouldn't be surprised if they did something to postpone that until WrestleMania. But anyway, the Shield came out on top of Monday Night Raw, and I think that was a good thing. Goldust and Cody Rhodes are always looking good as a tag team, so we'll see what happens with them here. One thing that I wanted to mention was that they did have a segment with The Miz and Michael Strahan and Titus O'Neil, which was pretty cool. It was a nice little segment to watch. It was fun. But the reason I want to talk about this real quick is because of The Miz. Well, so first he leaves Kofi to defend for himself, and so obviously it looks like The Miz is turning heel. But then the pay-per-view comes and, they shake hands in the beginning, or he tries to shake his hand in the beginning. They wrestle, they have a good match. The Miz wins, and he tries to shake his hand again, but here comes Kofi who slaps him in the face. Now, in this segment, The Miz is being cool, a good guy, So it seems to me like, is The Miz turning heel or not? As of right now, by watching the pay-per-view, by watching Monday Night Raw, I would say he's still a face. He's not a heel. We'll see. I still think that the best move for Miz is right now to turn him heel. So we'll see what the WWE decides to do with that. Hey, they had a really interesting tag team match on Monday Night Raw, which I thought was pretty cool, where they tag teamed Big E Langston along with Mark Henry. Now, Axel and Ryback, there's nothing going on with them anymore. They don't have Heyman anymore. They're just jobbers all of a sudden now. So, well, all of a sudden, they've been that for a while now. Can't tell you when was the last time Ryback actually won a match. Uh, and what's the last? Well, Axel won against Dolph Ziggler a couple weeks ago, but that doesn't matter anymore, does it? So anyway, but the teaming of Big E with Mark Henry, I thought was actually pretty cool. I kind of wanted to see Mark Henry turn heel, tell you the truth, because I would actually like to see a Big E against Mark Henry, and I'd like to see Big E defend the title because Big E's new. So to see them, for example, at a pay-per-view, I'd be like, well, how could Mark Henry lose to this guy? This guy's a rookie. He's probably going to just slap him around a few times and teach him a lesson. But these two guys are pretty big, massive, strong guys here. So they look good as a tag team. I'd like to see them go against each other, though, I got to tell you. But I'd also like to see Big E Langston come out on top. So maybe like a little bit of a passing of the torch type of thing. But we'll see. I don't know. I don't think that's the route WWE is going to go right now because they're giving Big E a push, but I don't think they're going to push him to that Mark Henry level just yet. But I think it was a pretty cool match, and I think that'd be something to watch in the future. And, even if he loses the title, I think them two would make a pretty good tag team. I can't see any team being more powerful than them right now. So probably the most powerful tag team in the WWE if they keep them together. Hey, they had a match that I thought was pretty interesting. Dolph Ziggler versus Damien Sandow, and the Hamptons, whatever match. Anyway, but it's a hardcore match. But there's it turns out to be a pretty good match. These guys have been wrestling each other. The WWE's not really doing anything with them. But, they're doing what's right. They're having good matches together, which is cool. You can't really ask for anything less than that. I feel sorry for Sandow because he's been taken out of the world title picture. Cena comes back from an injury, and they decide let's give him the title instead. So Sandow here, wrestle Cena for a little bit, but you're not going to get the title. It's the same that kind of happened with Dolph Ziggler. He won the title, he got injured, but then he lost the title as soon as he came back. So they're not really doing anything with these two right now, but they're doing what's right. They're putting on good shows with each other. To me, that was really the most entertaining match of Monday Night Raw. So, good job to those two guys. They had the segment with Daniel Bryan and CM Punk, and I really like this because I think they're pushing to have this last a little longer, which I think it's pretty cool. The only thing is, it's 3-on-2. So are they going to give CM Punk and Daniel Bryan another player to have, so it's a 3-on-3? What are they going to do? I don't know. But I really like this Wyatt family thing against CM Punk and Daniel Bryan. Whether they want to be called the GOATs or they want to be called, the Beard and the Best. I mean, hey, I'm sure they'll still sell plenty of T-shirts with that, so they may want to keep them together for a little while longer. And, what's interesting is at the end of that match, the Shield got back involved with CM Punk. So it just kind of gets you thinking, okay, is it continuing to go with the Wyatt family, or is the Shield going to be involved here somehow? I don't know, because now then you're talking about 6-on-2, so which doesn't really make sense. And Survivor Series is over, so I don't see these big tag teams, kind of getting together. So we'll have to see what goes on with that. But I do like the fact that it looks like they're going to keep pushing this for a little bit longer, at least probably through the TLC match and then pay-per-view, and then see what happens for Royal Rumble. Lastly, they had the Orton and Del Rio to take on the Big Show and John Cena. And I tell you what, nothing special here. Orton and Cena in the main event, which is, kind of the originals for the main event. So, just to build up towards the next pay-per-view, TLC, which I am going to be looking forward to for at least this one match. So I'm expecting John Cena and Orton, and let's see who's going to win the unified title. And I'm expecting CM Punk and Daniel Bryan to take on the Wyatt family again. However, like I mentioned, the Shield looks like they're going to be mixed in there again, so I don't know how that's going to come about. So we'll see. They have 3 weeks before the pay-per-view, and, the way the WWE does it, there's times where a week before the pay-per-view they announce 3 or 4 more matches, and it's like, okay, great, so now this is what the pay-per-view is about. So it may be a little while before we find out, but outside of that, it was a pretty decent Monday Night Raw. Can't say it was the best, but it was a pretty decent one. and we'll have to see how they continue to build up TLC. But right now, I think they have a good start with the unifications of the title. So I think it may be leading to a pretty decent pay-per-view to finish off the year. All right. Well, that's all for now, and please subscribe and also like us on Facebook. Thank you.